Hello and welcome to yet another YouTube video here on this channel. In today's video we are diving into Tana for an end of year review. So this is a series where I do end of year reviews and I go through what the different applications have been doing this year, and I mainly take newer, more like hyped applications rather than things like Notion and Obsidian, because those are quite stable and they don't change as much, whereas things like Tana, Anytype, or even capacities to a certain extent will change a bit in a year still because they are really young products. And Anytype and Tana are even younger than capacities. I did one for Anytype, and now it is time to do one for Tana as well. So we will cover my thoughts on this application right now, my thoughts on the things they've released, the issues I think about, and also at last I'm just going to give my expectations for next year. So let's actually start with Tana as it is right now, because it released a lot of cool features like the AI chat. I haven't been able to try any of these out because it is quite expensive and I can't afford paying for every single application. But they released a lot of AI and they went from just being a place where humans could think to being a place where humans and AI could think together. And they also did some minor tweaks which I haven't seen people talk about. Like before, it was much harder to do things like searching a node or referencing a node was actually quite easy, but searching checkboxes, things like that, was a lot harder, especially the search node functionality, because that is where a lot of the functionality of Tana comes, is with this search node and search through super tags. So let's actually do readwise here, and it will show me a list of everything tagged with readwise right here. So the way this works is that it is a search query based on your different object types or your different tags. So that is basically what this does, is that it gives you the answers based off of the search you do for a specific tag. But this actually turns into databases, so I can change viewing options to be a table if I wanted to, and here I could filter things as well, but I could also turn it into cards, or I can turn it into a calendar as well. The calendar won't work since I have no date properties here, but I do really like the I really like the table where I can add like different authors. I can add the title, URL, type of resource. So this is things I've set up myself. So I can actually add a bunch of properties inside of here. This was a great addition, like just making it easier to use the databases. And I think that is really important for Tana to do, but more on that a little later. The next thing I wanted to touch on is actually the features they've added. So we have AI chat, we have AI transcription, we have AI meeting transcription, and with that we also got a pricing plan. And this is quite expensive. So if you think about something like Rome Research, which is quite similarly priced, I think it is even a little lower, at least on the monthly plan. It is considered a really steep pricing for Rome, and the same goes then for Tana. It is quite expensive. I'm not saying that it isn't worth it. I actually made a video where I talked about the fact that it is worth the pricing because you get a lot of AI stuff. So you get 5,000 credits each month with GPT-4o and AI chat. AI assistant and custom AI agents, live transcriptions, voice recordings, audio enabled super tags and fields. So you get a lot of things with the AI, but you also get smart integrations like Google Calendar, Outlook coming, input API access, readwise integration, frequent and professional use of Tana. So unlimited shared workspaces, 10 gigabytes of file storage, add-on for more, no limits on file size uploads, and password protection on published pages. And they still have a free plan which gives you all Tana editor capabilities up to 3 gigabyte, up to 3 shared workspaces, and up to zero point 0.5 gigabyte file storage. Max file upload size is 5 megabytes. So you get a lot of AI things, which makes it worth it. And I think relying heavily on AI is the right way to go. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that AI is the future. Um, but I like the fact that they did that so early, and the fact that they built this as an object-based note-taking app. So all of these like super tags you have here can be configured to be like objects. And as I've heard, objects, or as I also have tried, objects will work a lot better with AI compared to the regular applications like Notion. So I like the fact that they are heading in this direction, but it is pricey. When it comes to my expectations for this going forward, there are a few things. So the main one is that and this goes for all of the different object-based note-taking apps, is that they need to become easier to use. And Tana, as I said, I've done some of it with this new like backslash functionality. You can also press more commands, which makes it easier. But just having backslash functionality for searching nodes, but still it is really hard if you're not in the productivity space to understand that searching a node actually means create a database. Let's actually do one with stationary. Um, it is really hard to understand that this means a database, like search means a database. And I think it is really important for applications like Tana to become more mainstream, for more people to use it and more teams to use it. It needs to become much easier to use, because in my day job we could never use an application like this simply because of the complexity, not because the application is bad. It is actually really good, and I think a lot of people will benefit from something like this, but you have to spend a lot of time actually learning the application, which isn't something necessarily everyone wants, and it is not something businesses want to spend a lot of time and money on unless it is like the perfect application. So that is a thing I want them to improve on. There is also another thing, and that is the lack of a mobile application. So being priced at $14 or $18 and not having a mobile application. Um, they have a capture app, but it isn't a fully fledged mobile application. And we were promised a mobile application back in the summer. Then it was pushed for a couple of months. Then it was pushed further. So my guess is that it is coming quite soon, but it isn't as easy as it seems to create a mobile application. But with that pricing, I am expecting a mobile application early next year, and I'm also expecting some sort of offline functionality, because again, it comes down to pricing. Like with this sort of pricing, you have to deliver a lot of value, and I'm not paying $18 each month for an application that does not work if I am taking the subway, for example. Not that I live in a place where we have subway, we barely have buses, but you get the point. Uh, for most people, that is like it is really hard to use an application when it won't be accessible everywhere. For example, a lot of people fly a lot, and having your notes accessible when you fly, for example, is really important. I get that they haven't added anything yet, but that is also something I'm expecting going into next year. So, as I've said, I think it is priced fairly for the value you are getting. It is still at a really early stage, and I would wish for the mobile application to be out before the end of the year. And in general, I think this can become really, really good. I still think this is one of the applications to really keep an eye out for next year because I think this can become one of the top tier applications. So that is my thoughts on Tana for this year or for next year. If you have any questions, please do leave them down below. Anything you want to discuss, leave it down below and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching.